then Siddharth Sidani from Anand Rathi to talk about the fundamentals that we're currently dealing with. Siddharth, just wanted your sense on what to do with aviation amidst reports that with regards to Jet Airways, SBI and PNB are going to be providing emergency funding of 500 crore rupees. But does the space find you comfort right now? At a time when crude is already spiked up to a 3-month high, would you find comfort at all in any of the aviation names?
Thank you, Aisha, for having me on the show. Well, if we talk about aviation space, definitely aviation space is not at all meant for investments. As we know that technical tradings and short-term positional calls can be always taken, but I think for investments, it's completely a no-no. Because of main reasons, of course, crude is a very big factor which impacts this entire space. And since we know that crude has come up from $50 odd to today $65 odd, I think this would be definitely hurting all these companies. In fact, Jet Airways, looking at the entire balance sheet and the kind of numbers, although the numbers were little better than what the last quarter it posted, but still it has posted losses. So I would completely advise the investors not to get into the aviation space and look out for other sectors where one can look at with a 6 to 12 month horizon.
That's the word coming in on aviation, but let's also get in your take then as to how you're looking at some of the other sectors. You know, the blanket call, Siddharth, when it comes to the metal space seems to be that one should avoid it due to the kind of cyclical factor, the earnings that we've seen due to the slowdown in China. What's the sense that you're getting? Steer clear?
Well, some respite is looking out for metal space, predominantly because of, again, INR dollar will be a little more strengthening going forward. Apart from that, crude has gone up. So global cyclicals and commodities are again coming back to the business. So we believe metal will be getting a push globally. And since when we talk about some of the global factors, metals always react to it. And Indian metal industry, of course, we understand that government is quite focusing into their support in terms of their pricing. Realizations are getting better. So in the metal space, I can say somewhat respite can be seen because we've seen a big correction over the last 3 months. If I pick and choose a particular stock in terms of our preferred bets, then I would like to pick up JSW Steel. Realizations are better, capacities have been increased, augmentation capacities will be done in the next 1 year, and we believe overall operational efficiency are improving for JSW Steel. Let's not forget they have good domestic operations also where there is quite a good support in terms of pricings are concerned. So JSW Steel can be only our preferred bet in the entire metal space.
Okay. Just let's glance at the market, and it's clearly those high beta names that are powering through. Something like a GVK Powers in the green, Adani Enterprises is holding out, the ADAG pocket as well, and there's also the likes of Inox Wind that's in the green currently, IRB Infra as well. While of course there is news, Siddharth, about GVK and being in the race for picking up stake in the airport. What exactly is the sense that you're getting on the infrastructure space as a whole? Do you think that we can see the overall businesses improving, the overall fundamentals prospects picking up prior to elections? What's your take as to how investors should play this sector?
Well, infrastructure, let's not, whichever government comes in place, infrastructure will remain the need of the hour for us. We would like to play infrastructure, but very selectively, with very selected leaders to it. Of course, these plays like GVK or GMR for that matter, we know it has its own problems in terms of debt levels, in terms of operational efficiency, execution levels. Although they may be in race of getting awarded for a few new airports, but overall, still I would like to play with L&T, the proxy to Indian infra, the large cap stalwart. And we believe that there are a lot of good tractions which is seen in terms of their order book. In fact, management is quite confident delivering on terms of revenues in coming quarters is concerned. So L&T would be the only play which we will like to play in terms of infra is concerned. In fact, we have a good upside to L&T. We have around 1894 as a target price to be precise, and we believe that L&T can be the mainstay story of 2019.
Your statement is saying, or your note is saying, that you have revised your estimates upwards for earnings. What you have seen in this quarterly earnings to revise, going forward earnings on the upward side?
Is that particular to infrastructure, Siddharth?
No, it's overall. You are saying in your note that you guys have revised your estimates upward for the earnings. But we haven't seen any major positive surprises in this quarterly earnings. On what basis you have revised your earnings on the upside?
Well, I'll give you a very good example. Out of Nifty 50, there are around 20 companies who has beaten their estimates and beaten with the variance of 5%. So if I talk about in terms of beat as well as in terms of weakening of the estimates, I would say this quarter has been a better quarter in terms of compared to Q2. Having said that, again, BFSI banking space has really done good in this quarter compared to the last quarter. All the last 3 quarters, if we talk about, it has been always non-BFSI segment which was delivering growth for the Nifty 50. But this quarter, it was BFSI which delivered growth, which was not seen in last so many quarters. So there are several important notes which are available in the earnings season, and we still believe that in the banking space, I think private banking, some of the corporate facing banks will be delivering better numbers in coming quarters than what they have delivered in 3-4 quarters back.
So that, what about the theme of defense? You have, companies like L&T, Ashok Leyland, and then of course, the pure play, BEL, BEML, etc. Do you believe that there is merit given the kind of thrust that we've seen for the overall space as a whole? You also have comments coming in from the defense minister as to how this is going to be a sector that is going to really see a lot of investments and growth going forward. Do you like this play?
We like this play, but very specific stocks which we like in this play, although it has been well innovated that which are the main plays in terms of defense are concerned. We know Bharat Electronic and BEML, all those stocks of the world. But what we are looking at that now, which are the main private players which will be participating in terms of defense are concerned. And the kind of commentaries we've been hearing from different companies, from different sources, we like one of the company, that is Bharat Forge, which has been beaten down since last 2-3 months because of the losing streak in terms of Class 8 trucks in US. But again, the second part of the story for Bharat Forge would be defense, and we still have that understanding that Bharat Forge can be the biggest player in the private sector, where it can participate with the government in terms of defense is concerned. So this would be the one stock which we are looking in the both ends. Of course, auto ancillary play is little weak as of now. I think it will improve in a quarter or so. And defense play, which the management is expecting to roll out a complete orders for them in next a year or two. So with an investment perspective, we like companies like Bharat Forge in the private banking, private space.
Okay. Siddharth, what is it that you're making of these reports which are doing the rounds that perhaps Axis Bank may be looking at an acquisition route to insurance right now? While it makes perfect sense with that kind of a diversification, considering it doesn't have presence in insurance, but just from a stock market point of view, given the kind of consensus view that some of these corporate banks like ICICI and Axis have, would you say it's a neutral event up until we have any conclusive update on what exactly do they have in mind on extending their insurance presence?
Absolutely, I would assume it as a more of a neutral event unless and until a few names crop up and we understand that at what valuation things can happen or an acquisition can happen. What at the current state, which I would be looking at in Axis or ICICI for that matter, that they sustain the kind of asset quality which they have and slippages doesn't come further. In fact, the improvement in terms of numbers or asset quality happens in coming quarters, then that confidence of corporate facing banks will be again back into the market, and then they can consolidate going forward. However, with these news, it would be really premature to comment, but as and when the news or the name of the companies come up, then only it would be wise to comment on this.
Just wanted to get in a perspective from you then, Siddharth. What exactly is the outlook on the oil and gas space? In fact, today there was a pretty interesting report that came out from CLSA, who believes that the Asian GRMs falling to a 10-year low is a worry in Q4, and oil marketing companies, are possibly building a buffer ahead of elections, that we could see petrol, diesel prices remaining at near record levels. What is it that you like within this space?
Well, if I go back to the history and not too far, that only 6 months back, when we had seen crude going up to $80, our upstream companies, especially the public sector units like ONGC or Oil India, were not a performer. And it is really unfortunate that being oil up, still they didn't perform, numbers didn't show that. So this time also I am a little skeptical and doubtful that these companies will be performing, despite we know that oil has come up from 50 to 65 odd dollars. Whereas the evergreen stock of all, Reliance, of course, the refining margins have given a dip, but Reliance, as we know, that the other players are really chipping in well, like of Petchem or retail or telecom for that matter. So Reliance is a different story altogether, and let's not fix it up with the crude oil prices. But OMCs, yes, this is a big concern for me, and I would like to stay away from OMCs, particularly because of oil going up. They would not able to pass on, because as you rightly pointed out that elections around the corner, maybe they have to absorb it further, the way government had announced few months back that 1 rupee OMCs will absorb and 1 rupee government itself will absorb. So you never know, these kind of things may come up because of round of elections in front of us, and OMCs will be weakened in terms of their balance sheets profitability. Marketing margins would be a big hit for these companies going forward. So for investments, or maybe for the 3 to 6 months investments, I would like to stay away from OMCs.
Stay away from OMCs at this point of time. Reliance is certainly a bigger player, and there are a lot of moving parts, so just change in GRMs cannot lead to buy or sell recommendation in Reliance, as per Siddharth. Siddharth, we are seeing a lot of mid-cap stocks buzzing since last 3-4 trading session. In fact, correction in mid-cap has been far severe, though we are talking about 10,600, 11,000 level on Nifties. There are talks about market that mid-caps are at the levels of 9,000. Now when they are showing signs of comeback, I'm sure at Anand Rathi you guys would have couple of stocks where you are having a conviction buy on mid-caps. Name those 2 mid-cap stock for us and your brief rationale on the same.
Absolutely. See, we are looking at mid-caps, and we will predominantly look at mid-caps. With this, after the fall, we have seen a lot of value proposition in mid-caps. One of the value proposition which we are looking at is Havells. Although Havells has not corrected that big time with the markets, but the kind of numbers they've been posting, cable segment has been really doing good. Lighting segment has been seeing expansion in margins. In fact, they have branded stores of themselves called Havells Galaxy, which they already have 500 stores and planning to expand even further. We believe this is a brand franchise where we can bank on. We believe these companies operationally will be really performing well. Valuations can be steep little bit, but overall perspective, growth is flowing, because at the end of the day, if you look at and mine through the results of Q3, hardly you'll find few companies which has been really posting good earnings. So Havells is one of the play which in the mid caps category which we like, with a target of 788. In the agrochemical space, we like UPL. Margins has expanded around 2%. We've seen international revenues growing up to 24%, and the recent acquisition which they have done, is of a big magnitude of around $4.2 billion, and we believe as and when synergies work in next 2-3 quarters, this company is there to post a good set of numbers. In fact, this quarter also was a good set of numbers. So UPL also is one of the play in the mid cap category when one can look at, with a target of 950.
Thanks very much then, Siddharth, for joining in and giving us that perspective on the markets as well.